1075 The Game Podcasting is sponsored by Modern Exterminating, a family-oriented company. Professional, honest, and dependable pest control solutions. We're your one-stop shop for all pests.
At the rim against Oklahoma, South Carolina was 18 for 40, remember, which was just insanely not very good, to be nice.
Right.
Last night, South Carolina, 27 of 36 at the rim, 75%. Now, part of that is Vanderbilt doesn't have the inside presence that Oklahoma does, to be fair. Vanderbilt's not a big team. Matter of fact, Dawn went small to start the game to match up with Vanderbilt, playing small as well. That's why Okot started on the bench, because it wasn't a great matchup. But what happened, once this thing got rolling, Okot came in the game, Vanderbilt had no answer for her at the rim. She was like 8 of 9 at the rim. Joyce Edwards, 7 of 9 at the rim. And that's where those two live. And they both struggled against Oklahoma. So they got it going at the rim. Latson, who had a bad game against Oklahoma, was phenomenal. Scoring, setting up her teammates, defensively. She was 6 of 10 at the rim, hit a 3. I mean, everything. South Carolina just, look, you know this. The really, really good teams, when they get beat and don't play well, and it's more them than the opponent, for some reason the next game they play, I don't care who they're going up against, they respond. And one thing it shows you in the NFL, coaching and quarterbacking matter. You got to get them right. You just do. However you go about that, getting them right, you get them right. And with Mike Vrabel, look, the Titans were going backwards under Vrabel. Let's not forget that. As we want to beat up the Tennessee Titans for getting rid of Mike Vrabel, it was going backwards. If you look at that last year and a half in Tennessee for Vrabel. But here's where you have to have good ownership and good front office, or at least good ownership. You have to take a look at why is it going backwards. What has happened? We had a guy who was coaching this team, made the AFC Championship game, was in the playoffs multiple times, and now all of a sudden we're going backwards. We've gone 7-10 and 6-11 in the last 2 years. And remember, in 2022, they were in line for a playoff spot and fell apart, and then the following season only won 6 games. So here's a guy who went from going 23-10 in 2 years to going 13-21 in 2 years. You got to stop and say, well, what's happened? Because this guy never had a losing record until these last 2 years. Well, number one, you got rid of A.J. Brown, your big playmaking wide receiver, who balanced your offense with your running back Derrick Henry and your quarterback Ryan Tannehill. But someone, not Mike Vrabel, decided to pay the quarterback like he was a high-level quarterback, which he was. He was a nice, solid, franchise-type quarterback that you could win with the right pieces around him. But then you took away one of those pieces because you paid the quarterback too much money. Then you decide to pay a running back a lot of money, is what you don't do in today's football, no matter how good Derrick Henry is. So you paid the running back, and you overpaid for the quarterback, and you couldn't pay the wide receiver. And that was the beginning of the end. So Oklahoma's got the lead near the end of regulation. Missouri hits a 3 to tie at the buzzer. Oklahoma's got the lead going to the end of the first overtime by 2. Missouri hits a game-winning 3 at the buzzer. I don't think it's ever happened before. You know it's not your year when a team hits a buzzer shot to tie you to go to overtime, then hits a buzzer shot at the end of overtime when you're up by 2 to beat you. Missouri's 4-3 in the league. Oklahoma's 1-6. And if you go by some of the analytics sites, they're picking Oklahoma to only win one more game the rest of the year. That would be like 11 or 12 win season. That would not be acceptable. Porter Moser, and I love Porter Moser, it's just not working in Norman. Last year went to the NCAA tournament for the first time in his tenure, and he's going to back it up with a year like this because Oklahoma is a bit more patient than most. Moser might get one more year to get this straightened out, but I thought that was a really good hire. And obviously I'm wrong.